Welcome back. I'm gearing up to give the EverReady N3 radio its first power up after I don't know how many years of not being used. You'll remember if you watched the previous series, and there are quite a few, of the restoration of the EverReady, that it took quite a while to prepare the radio in its entirety. Well, as you can see, the chassis has been refurbished completely. All the parts, and I mean in the case of this radio, I mean really all the passive parts at least, so the transistors and the capacitors have all been changed, or replaced I should say, by completely new components, including this audio transformer, which was shot. The original had a open primary coil. How that came to be, I don't know, but the case is, or the point is, that the original audio coil or audio transformer was broken. So I changed that one too. The tubes you see are all original ones. Now I should actually call this episode, or this update, not the next installment in the EverReady N3 radio, but also the first live test of the prototype of my Dynobat high voltage battery replacement. Now you remember that if you watch some of my previous series on the Dynobat, I developed a small prototype of a high voltage battery replacement, meaning that by powering a small circuit with two 9-volt batteries, I can replicate the 90 volts that the original EverReady battery must have produced to power this radio. So yeah, it'll be a test to see whether my Dynobat does what I intended it to do. Okay, so don't mind too much the jumble you see right now. As I said, it's still just a prototype. If it turns out my Dynobat design works satisfactorily, you remember one of my goals is to be able to power this radio chassis at least for an hour with two 9-volt batteries. And I also made a low voltage, so close to 1.5 volts filament battery. Actually, I used 4 AA batteries, nickel cadmium batteries, which I fully recharged. And although the battery cover says they produce 700 milliampere hours and 1.2 volts, it turns out that fully loaded they produce about 1.33 volts, which is more than enough, because the original battery the original EverReady filament battery will probably never have produced more than 1.5 volts. And in fact, I think those early type D battery type batteries probably only produced around 1.3, 1.4 volts. So that's a perfect substitute for the original EverReady filament battery. So those are fully charged up too. The two 9-volt batteries are fully charged up. I tested it shortly before this video, and they output around 93 volts, which is okay, since once I hook it up to the radio, the voltage will probably drop by a few volts. So, well, I hooked up the speaker, the original speaker, to the EverReady chassis, and the original antenna coils, you can see there, which are really nothing but very, very thin copper wire coiled in roughly a rectangular shape and glued onto paper, which in turn is stuck to the back of one of the inner covers of the case or the cabinet, with just plain ordinary old-fashioned sticky tape. I didn't take off that sticky tape yet, you see it here, because I didn't want to damage the coils. But I think in the end I will take it off once I put the radio together again. And I'll probably try to use something a little bit better, marginally better, than that old-fashioned ugly sticky tape. Okay, so let's give it a whirl, shall we?